Someone else, of course, that's been really good is our very own MVP candidate, our very own Rookie of the Year candidate, Corbin Carroll. Jesse has an amazing article on Corbin Carroll's first 100 games, and I can't believe this guy is real, Jesse. I just still can't.
It's unbelievable. Yeah, I was, racking my brain at 3 a.m. the other night trying to figure out like how do I put in perspective what Corbin Carroll has accomplished in his first 100 games as a big leaguer. And yeah, there's some eye-opening stats in that article that I wrote. His 937 OPS over his first 100 games is the highest in Diamondbacks history. Actually, there was one player, Rubiel Durazo, who's actually
I love Rubiel Durazo. Yes, I love.
Yeah, Durazo was really good.
He was really good.
I think his was 933 over his first 100 games. So those two are really close. Goldie was in the 840, 850 range, something like that. But yeah, I mean, Corbin Carroll, as I wrote, the Diamondbacks have lacked a true, consistent superstar since Paul Goldschmidt left this organization. There's been a hole there, right? And I know some people would say Ketel Marte, he kind of at least looked like that guy. You could make a case that in 2019 he was that guy. He finished fourth in MVP voting.
Yeah.
But he hasn't been that guy consistently, right? In order to really be a superstar in this league, it's not about just having one star level season. It's about stringing them together and becoming a force, becoming the face of the franchise. Corbin Carroll it's so abundantly clear. And I don't want to say he is that already because it has only been 100 games, but he couldn't really have done anything more over these first 100 games to make a statement to this organization and to its fan base. I am that guy. I am the guy who's going to come in here and I am going to be your star player for, he's under team control through 2031. And as I said the other day on the show, if you're a fan of this team, like you should probably own this guy's jersey. Like you should probably become an enormous Corbin Carroll fan because not only is he an amazing, intelligent person off the field, but he's an extremely good baseball player. And what he's accomplished in his first 100 games is already historic.
As Michael points out in the chat, he said batting stance guy even did his Corbin Carroll. When batting stance guy is doing your batting stance, like you're a superstar. But when we talk about superstar, this just still blows my mind. Let's take a look at Corbin Carroll in the National League MVP race with Ronald Acuña, which, of course, is a very, very good baseball player, Jesse. And I am very excited that we are even making this comparison. To even have this graphic in front of me right now kind of melts my brain.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. I don't know if Sean wants to weigh in on this race and where this whole thing might be headed, but yeah, I mean, we were making the Rookie of the Year graphic, right? This graphic was made with the intent of comparing Corbin Carroll with his biggest Rookie of the Year competitor.
Correct.
We were kind of playing the game with Ellie De La Cruz there for a while, but at this point, Corbin Carroll is so far ahead of any competition in the Rookie of the Year race that this comparison is more fitting at this point.
Yeah, I mean, let's be clear. Like Ronald Acuña is clearly at the favorite for this award at this point. Like,
absolutely, yeah, he definitely has.
Stats are in total better than Corbin Carroll's, but like, it's ridiculous we're even talking about this. Like, that's what I was going to say earlier is like, I know Jesse and I last week were talking about the potential of a sweep, an award sweep, and this is obviously the hardest one, but like,
yeah,
I think we're losing sight of the fact that like he is even like if
we're even having this discussion,
part of the conversation, and
right.
Corbin Carroll was just like the runaway for Rookie of the Year, like that would be a crazy story in and of itself. The fact that, like you kind of said, we're even making this comparison is ridiculous. And this is still a very long season, right? Like there's nothing to say that on one hand that Corbin Carroll doesn't eventually look like a rookie, which, as I said last week, he has yet to really do outside of the kind of coming back from the injury portion. And alternately, there's nothing to say that Ronald Acuña doesn't slump, or not that knock on wood, he's a guy that's dealt with injury before, right? So there's nothing to say that Ronald Acuña continues this all year.
Right.
So
right. Like he's in it. He's in the race. Like he's not leading it right now, but he's there. And I mean,
firmly in it. Yeah,
exactly. He's definitely in the top 3 as far as your consideration for MVP candidates. I think what then kind of happens is, what's the directions of the team? Like what direction does the team go? What direction do the Diamondbacks go? If the Diamondbacks continue to win and Corbin Carroll continues to be a major driving force behind that, that might be something that, even if the numbers kind of swing in Acuña's favor for a couple of categories, that still might be, like, between that and the fact he's a rookie and he's doing it this year, all of that might swing in the favor of Corbin Carroll when you put all of their factors side by side.
That's a great point. That's a really good point. I mean, a lot of people like those narrative games, right? Like the Braves without Ronald Acuña would still be a really good baseball team.
Yes.
The Diamondbacks without Corbin Carroll.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a little scary to think about where they would be without what he's given them this year.
Right.
Yeah,
right. So
it's human beings.
And that's what it's about, right? The most valuable player, right? So, and I mean, we talked about winning being a part of that, but sorry to cut you off, Sean. Go ahead.
No. It's just, I feel like we always forget. It's just human beings that are making these decisions at the end of the day.
Right.
And we can look at numbers as much as we want, but like, human beings are the ones that have to decipher how important those numbers are, and it's subjective at the end of the day.